station on the planet.
Resistance is futile. The revolution has begun.
You're listening to Rebelpreneur Radio, helping you break the rules and build the business you need for the life you want. And now, broadcasting his pirate signal from somewhere beyond the status quo, here's your host, best-selling author, marketing and media strategist, Ralph Brogden.
Hello and welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio, the show that helps you build the business you need so you can live the life you want. I'm Ralph Brogden. Well, so many people that I work with, people that I talk to, they really struggle with self-confidence when it comes to running their business, starting a business, or growing their business and taking their business and their life to the next level. I have an expert today where one of her zones of genius is building confidence and resilience no matter what you encounter, and she has an amazing story to share with you. Her name is Ferlie Almonte, and she was born in the Philippines, but she now resides in New Jersey. She travels all over the world to speak. She hosts important events and fundraisers. She conducts workshops on resilience, life reinventions, image, confidence, and public speaking. She works with corporations and organizations, and she's passionately driven to share her compelling message of hope and resilience. She's committed to inspire and uplift people from all walks of life through her diverse areas of expertise. Ferlie, it is a real pleasure to have you on Rebelpreneur Radio today. Welcome.
Woohoo! Wow, what a lovely introduction. Thank you so very much, Ralph, for inviting me. What a pleasure. Thank you. Well,
thank you for sharing your passion and your wisdom with us. We were talking off air and getting caught up, and it's really going to be a great opportunity to tap into your success mindset, your passionate mindset, and your life and your attitude and everything that you exemplify as you work with people, as you speak and do what it is you do inside of your zone of genius. But before we get into all of that, first tell our listeners your story. How did you get started? How did you become the person that you are today?
Oh, wow. Actually, I am very proud of the person that I've become because this is a product of many adversities in life. I feel like I was in the midst of like tsunami of adversities in life that very few people would even imagine that they could confront and rise above from with grace and courage. About 13 years ago, as a respiratory therapist, I was exposed to an occupational hazard that left me with a 40% permanent lung damage and severely disabled. So being unable to work, because literally, without exaggeration, I would take 2 steps and I would turn blue. I would actually gasp for air. It was such a humbling place because obviously I was not able to make money. I wasn't even able to step out of the house without feeling like I'm exposing myself to the risk of my airways closing up. And so during that time, there were so many things that awakened inside of me. I prayed like I've never prayed before, and I asked God for another chance at life because I know that I am in this world to be of service to others, and I know there's so much more to me going forward because I was only 46 years old, not even at the time. And I said I was not ready to take a pink slip. And I negotiated with God because I truly believe that there was so much more that, I was ready to turn my adversity into an opportunity to bring value to others. And I also came from a very, very nasty divorce. And so having been disabled and divorced, and so there was so much that I was going through emotionally. I didn't want to scare my family, so I tried to manage everything myself. But as I've said, staying in faith I was drawn to my calling in life. And, going to a networking event, as a matter of fact, I was asking God for a way to find my calling. And in that networking event, they were raffling off life coaching. I did not even know what a life coach was at that point, but it seemed like a great value because they said it was $1,200 worth and it's 8 sessions. And I said, what the heck? I just wanted to win something. And guess who won? I did.
Wow.
And
that was your sign, wasn't it?
Oh, please, a glaring sign, as a matter of fact. And so working with a life coach basically allowed me to peel myself in layers that I never imagined. As a matter of fact, I was getting mad at my life coach. I was telling her, like, what do you mean peel some more layers? This is as raw as I get. But I realized that all my life, because my father deserted us when we were children, I became the father figure of the family. And so I always was looking for jobs, not careers, not calling, but jobs that would allow me to provide for my family in the Philippines. And so everything was all about going for the grind, taking a paycheck, sending money. And so during that time, working with a life coach enlightened me that I was not following my passion in life. And also, it took away my belief that you can actually make money doing something that you love. You don't have to follow what everybody else is doing. And so from that point on, I ended up basically becoming a certified image consultant, because making people beautiful and helping them find the confidence was very easy for me. It was so organic. It was an innate talent. However, I look into their eyes and it looks very, very empty. They don't light up. And I realized I have to fix what's inside first. And that's how I became a life coach. But before that even transpired, during the time that I was gravely ill, I said to myself, I'm not going to be defined by my adversities. I will make my my message. And that's when I started to write books. I've written co-authored 3 books so far, which are Amazon bestsellers. I'm launching my 4th book called Do You Love Me Enough to Wipe My Ass? Yeah, you heard it right. It's all about caregiving. It's about unconditional love.
That's a powerful title and a very interesting hook you've got there.
Yes, and believe me, you would find it's a very shocking title, but it's filled with substance about resilience, about unconditional love, about strength, about finding how strong you really are in the face of adversities. It's really, it's multi-layered. I can't wait to launch it. It's coming out, hopefully before summer, and as well as my one-woman show called Make Your Mess Your Message, where I talk about the different adversities I've been through in life. And then how I
love the titles of your books, but I got to ask you, I want a signed copy of that first book that you talked about with the provocative title. I want a signed copy of that one.
Oh, most definitely. I can't wait. And you would love it even because, again, coming back to my adversities, during the time I was gravely ill, I even created a whole inspirational jewelry line tied to the Do You Love Me Enough to Wipe My Ass? And you would love it. It's actually bedpan inspired jewelry. And so just, I love to do things that are different. And so, here I am, I was disabled. Actually, when I found love again, wonderful, awesome, right? Tragically, I lost my spouse to pancreatic cancer within 8 months of our wedding day. And during the time that my spouse was dying, I got laid off from my pharmaceutical sales job. I got flat broke. I lost my home. I went into bankruptcy. And yet, after all of this, one after another, I rose above it. But then again, because of all of those, I found that my zone of genius is resilience, because obviously I knew from my own experience and wisdom how to rise above adversities in life and move forward and create something that will be of value to others. But I realized also that you need the confidence and the belief and the conviction from deep within your soul to be able to share that gift. And so people will understand the value that you offer.
Yes.
And of
Yes.
course, because of the fact that I am very unique in the way I think, in the way I write, and I come up with titles and products that people don't think about, that is what sets me apart. And it's very, very easy to find that bling. Now, you had said off the radio, off air, about confidence, that people struggle with that. Would you like me to delve on that?
I would. First, I want to go back to what you said before that I think is very important, that the whole idea of a rebelpreneur mindset is that you're willing to break the rules to build the business you need for the life that you want, and breaking the rules in a positive way, in a good way, distinguishing yourself, not accepting circumstances the way they have been dealt to you, not accepting adversities that are being handed to you, not just accepting everyone else's critiques and criticisms at face value, but breaking the rules, even and especially the rules in your own mind that tell you what you can and can't do. So you are a living example of the rebelpreneur mindset, breaking the rules so that you can build the business you need and live the life you want. And I want to find out more about confidence and resilience, but we got to finish this story. How did you overcome these adversities, this physical disability where you could not even catch your breath? How did you overcome that?
Okay, first of all, I just want to acknowledge your radio show, Rebelpreneur, because I've never seen being a rebel in a very positive light. And so thank you very, very much for that. What an awesome concept. Now, going back to my story, how did I overcome, that permanent lung disability? What had happened is that I actually went to a specialist in New York City at Columbia Presbyterian Hospital. I saw a doctor when 4 doctors here in New Jersey could not find the cure because they could not even figure out what was wrong with me, because it was very odd. And because as soon as I'm exposed to a trigger, my airways would close, my chest would tighten up, my head would explode as though I was having a migraine, and my GERD would act up all at the same time, and I could not figure out why. And so a lot of the doctors thought I was cuckoo and that I was just fabricating all of what I was feeling, until I went to a doctor that I used to call on at Columbia Presbyterian Hospital. He was Harvard-trained doctor, and the first thing that he said to me was, "Ferlie, you have a problem like most people do. Your doctors don't listen. Because the more problems you present to them, the more they have to fix. And because of the HMO, they need to see as many patients as much as possible. They're trying to rush through things, and they were just masking the symptoms. They were not getting down to the root of the problem." And so he made me lay down at the exam table. He touched something on the back of my throat, and it set me into an acute bronchospasm. My wheezing, you can actually hear it on the hallway. And I struggled to breathe, and I was gasping for air, and I was asking for my inhaler. And he said to me, "It's not going to help." And he just kind of chilled and laid back on the counter while I was, basically ready to pass out. And when I was ready to pass out, and I had to relax because I was, basically I had no more strength, he said to me, "I don't want to scare you, but this concerns me. Your vagus nerve," that's VAGUS, "has gotten hyperreactive. The sad part is, once triggered, no amount of inhaler or medication can save you." And the only way I could actually bounce back from that is to learn to just relax. But how do you relax when you're gasping for air?
Exactly.
When you cannot breathe?
Oh, that's
right?
my thing.
You're drowning and you're relaxing. It's kind of like, really? How do you do that?
Yeah.
And so, but believe it or not, I have learned to do that. And so, and that's one of the reasons why I've learned to always be happy. I do not expose myself to anything that stresses me out or anything that at all that makes me exposed to a trigger, whether it be heat and humidity. I mean, extreme cold temperatures, perfume, chemicals, stress, something like that. Anything that would stress me, I stay away from. So I kept myself very toxic free. And so what's really amazing about this doctor is that he did not stop there. He continued to fight with me. He sent me to a neurologist, and who actually they experimented on an anti-seizure drug to calm the nerve, so that, because they were saying like, okay, obviously this is not just a pulmonary problem, but this is a neurological problem because it's nerve, right? And so they experimented on an anti-seizure drug to calm the nerve. And after about maybe a month of titrating it, I was able to begin to feel relief and not be as hyperreactive. And so I was very happy. Unfortunately, as I was beginning to feel better, I also noticed something drastic happening. I was going blind.
What? On top of all of that, and then you feel, and now you're saying you're losing your eyesight.
Yeah, because it was the side effect of the medication that was given to me to control the nerve.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, okay, do I want to die or do I want to go blind? It's like I felt like that was my choice.
and see, I thought I had problems. I thought I had some things to overcome, but you've given me a new framework for understanding major life problems. What happened?
Right? But guess what? I broke out of the mode. I defied what everybody else said. I actually and I don't do this, okay, because I defied what my doctors were saying at that time. And so, because I went to my doctor asking for a different medication, because I said, the side effects of this is that I'm going blind. And they said, oh, you have to see your neurologist again, but I did not have insurance. And I was broke. And so, I made a decision. You know what? I'm going to wean myself from this. And so I started to wean myself off it. And then I began to make a choice of living a stress-free life. And what a big difference, because when I remove myself from the stress of worrying about my health, about, all the other worries that I have in my life, because really, if you don't, I don't have to worry about my credit, because when you're below, when you're 6 feet under, who cares about your credit score, right? So again, a different perspective. And so I began to live a life stress-free. I just chose to be happy. And believe it or not, when I started to wean myself off that and I started to get better, believe it or not, Ralph, I am completely off any medication.
Wow.
Now, because, first of all, I began to live a healthier life, and it started with the mind, that I made a decision to be happy. I chose my battles. I had to. But this is what I'm going to tell people. First of all, to be resilient, choose your battles in life. You will find that, it could be worse. Like you're complaining that you may not have the new high-tech phone. Guess what? You're lucky to be alive. Things like that.
There's bigger battles in life than having the latest iPhone.
Exactly. I'm just saying, like, it could be anything, but you could even be going through a breakup. But guess what? You have another chance. Maybe it's God emptying your hands of what no longer serves you so you can receive something better, something more spectacular. But unless you open your heart and your mind to receiving the bigger blessings, what you are called upon to do, like if you find that opportunity in that adversity and you find the message in your mess, magic happens. It's amazing. And when you embrace that, the confidence comes in, because now you know what you're talking about. Now you understand because you've lived it. And so as a life coach, for instance, when, I always say when people are lost for words, I can fill in the blanks because I've been there. I know what it feels like. And I also know how it is to be confident because once you master what you're phenomenally great at, nobody can, basically you own your space. And you know what you call that, Ralph?
Yeah.
I call that's my BLING system.
Your BLING system.
BLING actually, ready for this?
Yes.
BLING actually stands for boldly living in natural greatness.
Boldly? I love that. Boldly living in natural greatness. I like that. And that's better than the other kind of bling, isn't it?
Yeah, I like those too, but
yeah.
I like those. Don't get me wrong. I'm still a girl. But I'm just saying, but you want to basically shine from deep within you with your own bling. And when you will find that in your life, I challenge all your listeners right now, find something in your life that you're deeply grateful for. Maybe there's something that's not working in your life, but think of what's working phenomenally and embrace that and celebrate that. And then also, I challenge anyone listening right now, there's something amazing about you that you do so well that nobody else can. That is your bling. Find it.
And I believe everybody has that. Do you believe that everybody actually has something that makes them special and unique that they can do?
Yes. And that's why, but sometimes people do not see that in themselves. As a matter of fact, when I work with my coaching clients, either life coaching or image consulting, they're all saying like, oh, after just one session, they would say to me, Ferlie, I never saw myself that way. But sometimes it takes somebody with either a keen eye or somebody insightful or intuitive to see what you don't see in yourself. More often than not, you deny it because, like you're trying to be humble or you always, you do not value your gift enough that you can say, this is something people can find value from. This is a gift that I'm supposed to share with others.
Well, we take our own, we take our own greatness for granted because we're not looking at it from the perspective of the people that we're impacting. We just take it for granted. Like, well, pretty much everybody knows how to do this. No, they don't.
You know what I remember from one of my mentors before, he said that, even if you just know a little bit more than the next person, you are already an authority, compared to that person. And you already have a gift to share with others. So, but if you keep comparing yourself with others, then you feel like, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm not skilled enough. But tap into your own bling. You will find that in you, there is something very, very unique in the way you communicate, even in your own essence. Like, what did I say when we just came on the phone? First of all, your voice is phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
So you can use your voice, not only for the power of the radio, but of course for announcements, I bet you have a great singing voice as well. And you know what? It's very soothing. It's so soothing that, even if you had to actually do like a yoga video, like a CD, it's almost like it's so soothing that you could just fall asleep and then, and it's something.
I've put a lot of people to sleep in my career. But
and you're very funny. I love that. So and the fact, and you are very, very creative also for turning the word rebel into something really positive and spectacular and very empowering. The Rebelpreneur. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. I coming from you, that is a huge compliment. I've been speaking with Ferlie Almonte, and she is and a genius at several different areas, She's image and style consultant, public speaking, personal branding, confidence and resilience. She has an amazing story and history, and I want to encourage our listeners to visit her website and connect with her at ferliealmonte.com. And that's spelled F-E-R-I, let me get it right, F-E-R-L-I-E, Ferlie Almonte, ALMONTE.com.
Yes.
Or they can probably find you on Facebook too, can't they?
Yes. I'm actually my life is like a Facebook reality show, actually. But I keep it very, very wholesome.
Yeah.
Very, very wholesome. Yeah.
Well, that's excellent.
Anything that I do, I need to be able to share something uplifting with others.
Yes.
And so whether it be online or offline, you know what they say, actually, I think, I just remembered something. Oprah said on her last show, she quoted someone who said, be mindful of the energy that you bring into your space. So whether it's online or offline, be mindful of how you live it. So make sure that you live something beautiful and positive for people to ponder on. Maybe that's what somebody needs to see or hear at that moment. How many mornings I actually open up my private messages, and there are several messages about people saying they're going through a sticky situation, and they suddenly remember me and they said, what will Ferlie do?
Mm-hmm.
That made me smile, because I guess, they said that, the world could be crumbling, and I would always try to find something positive about it.
Yeah.
The whole point is that, as I've said, it does not have to be anything catastrophic like that. But of course, in our lives, not everything will be working the way we plan it. But just, be resilient, be flexible, open yourself to new options, and you will see. Perhaps the reason why certain things don't work is because you're being led to something even better.
I love that. Words of wisdom from Ferlie Almonte. She's an author, a speaker, and a really, really warm, positive, encouraging person that I hope that you will get to know as she helps people to boldly live in natural greatness. You can connect with her at ferliealmonte.com. Ferlie, it has been a real pleasure to connect with you and to visit with you. Thanks so much for coming on to the show today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, are you telling me? Oh my goodness. I am deeply honored and thrilled to meet you, even just on radio. And I look forward to meeting you in person one day, and keep shining your light, and more power to Rebelpreneur, and for everything that you do. You are really, really incredible in more ways than you ever imagined.
You've been listening to Rebelpreneur Radio with Ralph Brogden. Download the show notes and much more at rebelpreneur.com.